Hi, how are you? Good, it's good to see you. Today we're going to be working on the art tutorial, Green Collage. So let's quickly go over what it is that we need and then we'll get started. So for this project, you're gonna need, this project comes with a bag of materials stapled to this paper. Can you tell me what color that paper is? It's green. Everything we're working with is green today. So we'll need the project, you'll need a paintbrush, you'll need scissors, a marker for writing your name, and you can use green paint or liquid glue, or you could use a glue stick and green paint. I'm just going to use paint because when paint is wet and you put things on top of it, it dries like glue. Or you could even mix liquid glue with your paint, however you want to do it. And then I grabbed a towel, just in case, a wet towel, just in case I need to wash my hands off. And water, in case you get thirsty doing art. You ready to get started? Okay. Oh, one last thing that we need for this project is we need everybody to have their pincher fingers with them. Do you know what those are? Okay, so take your finger, your first finger and your thumb, and pinch, pinch, pinch. These are your pincher fingers. Perfect, you brought them. Okay, so go ahead and flip over your paper, and you want to write your name somewhere in the middle so we don't cut it off when we're cutting out our rectangle. So go ahead and write your name. I'm going to grab a marker so that I can write mine. Do you have a lot of letters in your name or a little bit of letters? Yeah. Go ahead and take your time. Perfect. Let's get started. Can you tell me what shape is this traced on the paper? Yeah, it does look like a square, and it's actually a type of square. It's called a rectangle. And a rectangle is essentially a longer version of a square. So let's take our scissors. Maybe shake your hand out first. Exercise it. Because we're going to use those cutting muscles. Did you bring your cutting muscles? Yes. Okay, and we're going to hold the scissors. Remember, 3 on top and your thumb on the bottom. Up, down. And we're going to grab your piece of paper so that your hand is not near where the scissors are. And we're going to try our hardest to cut near or on the line of the rectangle. Remember, we don't need it to be perfect because we're practicing. And the thing that we're really practicing in this, partially, is developing our cutting muscles. So developing meaning they're going to get stronger and stronger and stronger. So what have you been doing today? Nice. I saw that it was going to be a super hot day again. Do you like super hot days? Or do you prefer it to be a little bit cooler? Or maybe you prefer it to be like cold and rainy? Yeah, I like that too. And remember, if you cut into your rectangle, it's okay. Because we're practicing those cutting muscles. I'm going to put my rectangle down, and I'm actually going to cut these up because I can use them if I wanted to. You don't have to. You have plenty of collage materials in your bag. But if you wanted to, you could get extra cutting practice by cutting these up and in any shape. And we can also paint or glue them on our paper. Here, let's see. I cut this shape. Can you tell me what this shape is? Yeah, it's a triangle. And let me tell you something that might help you remember it. Tri means, well, T-R-I in the word triangle means 3. So a triangle has 3 sides. 1, 2, 3. So that might help you remember. How's your cutting coming? Good, good. Remember, if you get tired, just exercise your hand like this. Move it around, shake it out. You can pause the video and take a break. And do you like the color green? Yeah, I know some of you, it's your absolute favorite. And some of you have a different favorite color. Okay, I've got one more. And remember, if you need more time to cut, just go ahead and pause the video, okay? Okay. So remember, you do not have to cut the scraps up like I did. But I wanted to give myself a little bit more cutting muscle exercise. Okay, so we have our rectangle. Can you show me your rectangle? Awesome. I can tell that you are practicing so hard at cutting and it looks great. And now we're going to take our bag of collage pieces. We're going to take them out. Not all of them, probably. Do you think it's going to take a little bit or a lot of materials to fill that space in? Yeah. And especially depending on how big your rectangle is, it might take less, it might take more, but I want you to just think about how many of these things. Ooh, look, we've got another shape here. Do you know what shape that is? Yeah, it's a circle. It's a circle. How many of these things we are going to need? This is also where you're going to need your pincher fingers. Okay, do you have out what you need? Awesome. So when we use our pincher fingers, it's called a fine motor skill. And believe it or not, using our pincher fingers and exercising them, a lot like we exercise our cutting muscles, helps develop the strength in our hands for things like writing, and is also connected to how quickly one can learn how to read. So using your pincher fingers, which sounds super silly, it's one of the fine motor skills that can help with your reading development whenever you start to do that. Pretty cool, huh? So I'm gonna take my paintbrush and put it in my paint. And I'm just gonna start painting. So if you have a glue stick, or if you have glue, or you have paint, just wanna paint. You don't have to paint the whole thing, just paint the area where you're gonna wanna put your materials first. And your materials are these. If you're using paint only, you're gonna wanna use a little bit extra. But if you're using glue or you mixed glue with paint, you can use a little bit less. Okay, so I'm gonna do just this part. I'm gonna put a good amount of paint so that everything sticks. So see, I'm just doing one part of my paper. You can do it however you want to, okay? So I'm gonna take my pincher fingers and I'm gonna choose which pieces of material I wanna put on my paper. So I'm gonna choose this. It's called a pom-pom. What are you gonna choose? Perfect. I'm gonna use some of this green grass. Does that remind you of what you get in your Easter basket if you celebrate Easter? Yeah. I'll put some of that on there. And if your grass goes off the side of the rectangle, don't worry about it. And that. I'm going to use a couple of the things that I cut. And remember to use your pincher fingers when you're picking stuff up. Ooh, and I'm going to use some of this. Looks like grass. So there's a big fancy word I'm going to teach you guys. Do you want to know what it is? Okay, well, what it means is one color. So if we're ever doing an art project that's all one color, it's called, okay, we're going to break it down. Ready? Monochromatic. Monochromatic. It's a big, long, fancy word for one color, for using one color. Okay, I'm going to put more paint on mine. So this is what we're going to be doing. We're just going to be painting or gluing and sticking and using our pincher fingers. Have you guys been saving the art that we've been doing together? Good, you get to keep that art forever. And all of my kids went to Ready, Set, Grow, and I have a big box of all their artwork with it when they were in preschool. Super special. You can also hang it up on your wall too. That's what I did over here. I started putting the art projects that you and I were doing together in my little classroom. So I'm going to go ahead and just cover the rest of this now. And remember, if you're just using paint, you want to use a pretty good amount. A little bit more here. And if you're using liquid paint or glue, you can try a couple of things. You can try brush strokes up and down and up and down and see what that looks like. Another technique you can do, it's a different kind of up and down. It's more of a dabbing method. And this is a method we're going to use really quick when we, in October, we're going to paint a fall tree. And we're going to be using this method. So I thought it would be cool if we could practice. Ready? And if you don't have glue or paint, you could just grab your paintbrush and you can practice it with us. And all you're going to do is you're going to hold it just like this. Up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down. You can go fast, you and go slow. So if you have paint or glue on your paper, can you see the difference in the texture? It looks different than if you go back and forth with your paintbrush, right? Yeah, this is a technique that we use for fall leaves. We use this technique for clouds when we paint clouds later in the year. And we use this technique to make flowers. When it's Mother's Day, we're gonna make really beautiful projects for our mom, and one of them is we're gonna be painting flowers for her. I wanna show you what mine looks like, and I wanna see what yours looks like with this dabbing. Up and down, up and down, up and down, up and down. It's so simple, and it also looks really beautiful. Okay, show me yours. Awesome, that's perfect. And if you have some brush strokes in your up and down dabbing, that's okay too, it looks beautiful. So I'm gonna show you mine. You see that? Definitely has a different look. Now let's take our paintbrush and just practice back and forth, to the top of the paper and down to the bottom. Okay. Does that look different to you? Yeah. See? You can see the lines from the paintbrush going up and down. Okay. I'll wipe my hands off, and I'm going to finish my beautiful green collage. And as we're doing that, I wanted to practice how to say green in sign language. Okay, so take your finger and your thumb, just like this. It's kind of like you're doing pinch your fingers, but you're not going like that. Instead, we're gonna go side to side. Green. Can you do that with me? Green. Good job. Okay. So when you guessed if it was going to take a lot of this material or a little bit for your rectangle, was that right? Was that a right guess? Or did you need more? Or did you need less? Good. We like to make guesses when we're doing math and art projects in preschool because it engages our curiosity, meaning it makes us wonder, like, I didn't think about that before, but now that I'm thinking about it, I think it's going to take a lot of materials or a little. And then being able to see if your guess was right, it gives you information. Okay. And I'm just pressing down this grass. A few more. Remember, if it's hanging over the sides, over the edge of the rectangle, that's absolutely okay. And then you just keep going until you have your rectangle covered and you feel happy with it. Are you finished? If you need more time, you can pause me, okay? When you're ready, can you show me your work? And be careful, because if you have a lot of glue on it, you don't want it to slip off. Wow, that is beautiful. I love your monochromatic piece of art that you did. I'll show you mine. Sometimes we will want to put just a little bit of things on our rectangle, but I wanted to try putting a lot and see how it would look. And I'm happy with it. See, some of it's hanging off the side, but that's okay. All right. Shake out your hands because you used your cutting muscles and your pincher fingers. I hope you enjoyed this art project, and I will see you soon. Bye.